Hello, how's everyone doing? It is your fallen angel back with another video. Today we are going over the Babylon connection between ancient and modern religions. Specifically, what is Babylonian Pantheism? So without further ado, let us begin. The original inhabitants of Babylonia were the swarthy-skinned Akkadians. They were animists, believing that each object in nature was inhabited by a different spirit or god. They prayed to the spirits that they might benefit from, and they appeased those that they believed were malignant. It is very, very likely that Nimrod was the man who conquered the Akkadians. He did not kill them all or drive them out of the land, but rather absorbed them into his new empire. Babylon thus became the first integrated society, and the effects of this integration proved to be disastrous upon their later civilization. The conquest is known to historians as the Semitic conquest, although it was not strictly Semitic. The term Semite, in the biblical sense, refers to the descendants of Shem, excluding those of Japheth and Ham, the grandfather of Nimrod. But the modern historians classify them all as Semites because they all spoke the Semitic language. One such historian is Professor Sayi. Commenting on the religious significance of this conquest, he says, "The result was a form of a creed in which the old Akkadian faith was badly taken over by an alien race, but at the same time profoundly modified. It was Akkadian religion interpreted by the Semitic mind and belief." Nimrod combined Semitic monotheism with Akkadian animism to produce pantheism. He taught that God is nature itself, and each nature spirit is a part of God. The immediate result of their adoption of pantheism was the suppression of the creator God, who was then interpreted as being the universe itself. God was the earth which nourished man, the water which moistened the earth, the air, ether, or spirit of life, and the fire of the sun which gave light and heat. Thus, creation itself was worshipped as God, or the universal soul. Paul denounced those who taught this perversion, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Romans 1:25. It was anciently believed that nature was made of 4 elements: earth, water, air, also known as ether, and fire. But we specifically know it to be 5, ether being its separate entity. To each of these natural elements was assigned an elemental or nature spirit: gnomes, undines, sylphs, and salamanders. Each class of nature spirit was said to be composed of only one of the 4 elements, and at death they simply disintegrated into that particular element. They were said also to have personalities corresponding to one of the 4 fixed astrological signs: Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo, respectively. The elementals were thought to live from 300 to 1,000 years, but they were not thought to be immortal. We see, then, that to the Babylonians, God was nature as a whole, consisting of numerous gods called elementals. Now, there is a Disney movie called Elementals, showcasing these same sorts of deities: gnomes, salamanders, etc. The elementals were, of course, invisible under most circumstances. This was, they thought, because they consisted only of one element, and so lived in an entirely different vibratory rate than man. The elementals were thought to become visible to those who took certain drugs, and thus the priests were often called sorcerers, which word comes from the Greek meaning pharmacist, druggist, or poisoner. So, modern day sorcerers are your local pharmacists at CVS and Walgreens. These are your modern day sorcerers. A good share of modern medicine is based upon the same drugs and poisons used years ago and has its roots in the mystery religions of the ancient world. Salvarte informs us these unctions were exceedingly frequent in the ancient ceremonies. Before consulting the oracle of Trophonius, they were rubbed with oil over the whole body. This preparation certainly concurred to produce the desired vision. Hislop says they were also anointed with magical ointments of the most powerful kind, and these ointments were the means of introducing into their bodily systems such drugs tended to excite their imaginations and add to the power of the magical drinks they received, that they might be prepared for the visions and revelations that were to be made to them in the mysteries. These mystery drinks, used in the mysterious, were composed of wine, honey, water, and flour, and were drunk from a golden cup. Of this wine mixture, Hislop says, from the ingredients avowedly used, and from the nature of others not avowed, but certainly used, there can be no doubt that they were using an intoxicating nature, until the aspirants had come under their power, till their understandings had been dimmed, and their passions excited by the medicated draught. They were not dully prepared for what they were either to hear or to see. Similar to what we see in modern day MK, right? It's this use of barbiturates to the point where you're in a trance state where you no longer have control of your brain, but you are more susceptible to what's going to happen. The belief in the elementals was probably the result of hallucinations brought about the use of these intoxicating drinks. The drug priest or initiate had all sorts of visions and hallucinations, but believed he was seeing normally invisible creatures, the elementals. They did not stop to consider that if these elementals were composed of tangible earthly elements, they should be able to see them or otherwise sense them as easily as the real elements themselves. The ancients believed that drugs and mysterious gases from cracks in the earth were proper means of contacting the supernatural, but they were deceived by their own imagination, just as many drugged people are today. So guys, this has been a short overview of what is Babylonian Pantheism. We will continue our playlist in this Babylonian review. Feel free to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. Check us out on Patreon, Rumble, Twitter, Instagram, things of that nature. This has been your fallen angel, and I am out.